I have been telling my team that this is what I want in the next 24 hours, and they have been able to do it in 12 hours. But when we scale up the process, we feel that everyone in the system should be in perfect communication. In other words, the information should flow from one end to the other end seamlessly. At present, I find a lot of paper movement from one office to other office, and also students going to different offices handing over their requests, and then the process gets delayed. The main challenge in introducing this is we need to send a personalized timetable to every student, which gives information about the classroom, the faculty name, which building, and all those things. And then I got introduced to this ZOHO Creator, and I found that we can build whatever the application that one requires.
Right now we are using around 6 apps, 6 critical apps. I would say that runs around the business process. One for the course allocation. That means a HOD will release a course and you would map a particular faculty for a course, and then it's been rolled out. Based on that, registration for the students who do the registration process online wherever they are, using their mobiles, like iPads or whatever it is. They do the registrations online, and then once the registration comes, they will be choosing the faculty also during the registration. So all these services, choosing courses, choosing faculty, registering for courses, and then everything completes in that one single process. Then once he does that, he will be getting a course registration form. Like that's an official form which we will be legally accepting on these are the courses I am going to do in this particular semester. That is important, and which goes with the time schedule. So there is one room allocation application along with the course mapping application, which will drive the registration, and then the registration is completed, they will generate this timetable scheduled app to that student.
Following a flexible choice-based system, we used the ZOHO application to select our subjects and our teachers. We love it because it is hassle-free, and we can check our marks, attendance anywhere and anytime.
The exciting moment was that when we sent out this URL to all the students to choose the courses and the faculty, within about 30 minutes I could see about 2,000 registrations being already done.
No single call was there saying that my page got hanged or my kind of application was not submitted. No single call.
Students can get benefit of interacting with other students, so they can easily do the interdisciplinary course when they go for project work.
In the next 2 years, we want to make SRM University complete paperless office.
For a developer who has a critical requirements to be rolled out, this is something awesome.
I think ZOHO Creator has given me enough confidence in rolling out new initiatives.
Hi, my name is Julian Perriot. I'm the Head of Digital and Marketing for Giltage. Giltage is a group of companies specializing in the travel industry. We are based in Cape Town but have around 140 employees around in South Africa as well as America. We are extensively looking now into trialing all the different apps that ZOHO One has on offer, and we now, having settled on ZOHO One, being able to actually say that I think it makes so much more sense to have one particular provider, one support system, one account, and we are now looking to obviously then making better use of ZOHO One's 45 apps, and that's whether it's on the finance side or the HR side or the marketing side, which is something that I handled with my team as well. Essentially, we went from what was 10 different ways to handle all of that to a single platform, and at the time that was just a ZOHO CRM, having that one single product to be able to have the consistent experience for all the different stakeholders. Easy, user-friendly, and efficiently integrated suite of application, which is a real no-brainer.
Hello and welcome to ZOHO Live. My name is Andrew Burne. I am the Business Development Manager for ZOHO in the Africa region. Today I will be speaking to Ryno Wubbeling from D6 Group. Ryno is the Head of Operations and he's been with the company for 4 years. The D6 Group offers technology to schools and educational institutions. And today we'll be speaking about the future of technology for schools. I'm very excited about this topic and we'll see you all soon. Hello and welcome to our viewers and welcome Ryno. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks.
Perfect. Great. So let's get into it. I've got a few questions for you. First question, how long have you been in the technology industry?
Well, as an industrial engineer, I've been in the industry for over 8 years, especially with engineering consultancies in that field. I've been with D6 for 4 years, first as a project manager and then as head of operations.
Okay, perfect. And please tell us a bit more about D6 and how the group came about.
Well, it has quite humble beginnings. It all began in 2006 when Don Pretorius became a member of the SGB, the school governing body of his daughter's school. And he realized that everything in the school was working in silos. Nothing spoke to each other. Work was constantly duplicated. And even then, our motto that we have today of simplify life ran through his veins. So he got a few friends of his together and they started developing a school management system from scratch. So that's something that integrates all functions that a school has to perform into one system, much like ZOHO does as well. And it grew from 1 school to 2 to 4 up to the 800 schools we service today. So in the same breath, a tech startup called D6 Technologies was created in 2009 with its focus being communication between schools, businesses, and communities. And they created a mobile platform that grew to cater to over 2,500 schools, businesses, and community organizations. Then, subsequent to that, the two companies merged in 2017. And the great thing about that is we were able to pool the knowledge garnered from the years in those two different parts of the industry into one in order to be able to give an even better product to especially schools. That's the long and the short of it, at least.
Okay, perfect. And you did mention to me that you're also looking at some international markets. What is
Yes.
D6's current footprint?
So we are already the market leader in school management in South Africa, but we've also got a presence when it comes to our communication products, a rather large one in the Middle East. We're also present in most of sub-Saharan Africa as well as the UK. And we've also got a reseller and international partner model that is currently active or in the process of becoming active in Southern and Eastern Africa, more of the Middle East, as well as North America. And we're also exploring the possibilities of European expansion as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, and in your opinion, how ready were schools for this crisis and for lockdown?
Well, I don't know that anyone was really completely ready. I think even us, I mean, we make use of a cloud platform, which is ZOHO One. We are geographically dispersed as a company. We've got offices in Johannesburg, in Pretoria, and in Stellenbosch. Even we had to do some things differently when it was said that everything would be locked down. Now, schools, when it isn't about the school management part of it, which they can use us for and which they can do from anywhere, when it's about the standing in front of the classroom and imparting knowledge on your students, that's still a very tech light place to work in traditionally, especially in the public school sector. So I think it was a massive challenge to be faced with for any school, whether public or private, really.
Okay. Yeah. And how do you see the schools now having to adapt, from this crisis?
That's the thing, though. When this happened, we as D6 also decided we want to do our part to lessen the burden, and we started saying, well, look, for this period of the crisis, we won't charge anything for our communication platform. We want to give that for free, and the uptake of that has been astonishing. I think schools got a renewed sense of the importance of being able to communicate effectively with their parents and with their students, and making use of that product was part of it. The other part, I have to give a round of applause, props to teachers. Really, I think if you think about that as your work, and being told that you have to rethink the way you do everything, they've been able, the stories we hear, they've been able to do that beautifully, making use of what they have at hand, the technology that's available, not necessarily all in the same way, but going above and beyond what they are actually supposed to do in order to still be there for their learners. So I think in that sense, where it's been possible, and obviously that's the problem in South Africa, is where it's possible, it can work very well, but there are large parts of the country that don't have access to technology as readily, where doing anything to help is much more difficult. But I think overall, it's been a wonder to look at.
Yeah, definitely. I think, props again to all those teachers who've had to adapt, and change things so dramatically for them. And so D6 provides this application. Give us a bit more detail as to how the application works for the schools.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we were able to pull the knowledge from the school management side as well as from the communication side of the tech industry together. And we created D6 Connect, which is a two-way communication tool that schools can use to communicate with parents, but also to request information from parents. So things like the old tear slips where Johnny would have to give this to mommy and mommy would have to sign it and give it back to Johnny, that falls away. And because the system is integrated, if the school makes use of an integrated product, the parents also have access to information instantaneously as it pertains to marks, discipline, absenteeism, and also finances. We've also got a finance part of it where it's possible to pay for things like school fees, to pay for the trip to the zoo at the touch of a button using your app. The nice thing about the app as well is that it's a one-stop shop. So perhaps you've got one child in primary school and one in high school. Maybe your business is also using the app, or perhaps your community organization or church. It's all there in one app. You can view information separately or in one page. And we've, as I said, we've had a massive uptake in this period for that product as well.
No, that's really sounds great and quite interesting. And what other sorts of technology solutions are schools now making use of alongside your technology?
Well, obviously, we offer, our focus is school management and the communication between schools and their audiences. But that doesn't yet meet the needs of how will you present this class to your child, or how will you conduct this meeting. So what we found is that a lot of schools are making use of Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. They're making use of video platforms such as Zoom, loading such things on places such as Google Drive, etc. And doing that with various degrees of success. Obviously, there is no one set plan, so each school is basically fending for itself as best it can. We have a limited integration with Google Classroom, which we've started helping schools with, to give them a hand if that's the tool they wish to use, to be better able to use that effectively and efficiently.
Okay, perfect. Now we must definitely get you guys to have a look at ZOHO Classes, which is also coming out soon. I know there's some early access, and we can get you guys to evaluate that for the African and South African markets. Okay, perfect. I just want to just remind our viewers, if you have any questions for us, you're welcome to put that in the comment section. My production team will send that through to us and we'll answer it towards the end. But my next question for you, Ryno, is privacy and security with student information. How important is that in your industry?
Well, it's always been important because you're dealing with the information of minors, and it's sensitive information, it's contact information, it's banking information, it's all the financial stuff as well. On top of that, we've got what's called POPIA, POPIA in South Africa, which is the Protection of Personal Information Act, which hasn't yet been promulgated, but when it will be promulgated, it will mean massive changes need to be undertaken by every single industry in the country in terms of how they go about handling their data. Is their data secure? And that's on the tech side, but it also speaks to, what do you have lying on your desk? Is that information lying on your desk potentially sensitive information that you're breaching to the world? So as such, we've done a lot of work on our own system to make sure that everything is all nice and secure, but we've also got to a point where we're giving training to schools to educate them on what this means for them, because it will mean a new way of doing things, really. And on an international stage, we've got international clients as well, and they're the standard, if you will, seems to be GDPR from the European Union, and we've got to comply with that as well. So it is a massive part of our business to make sure that we comply firstly, but that we educate our clients to be able to comply as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that GDPR is definitely a guideline to follow, because I know a lot of African countries are putting together their privacy laws in kind of in line with GDPR. So it's definitely good to look at that, as well as what the POPI Act has put forward. Okay, so I've got one more question here for you before we go to any questions from our viewers. What is on the horizon for D6? What can your clients expect next?
We've decided that for the rest of this year, the theme will be to stabilize and perfect. We're putting a renewed focus on our agility and our ability to respond to clients' needs. We're using ZOHO for that as well, obviously. So we've got a forum on our website where we ask our clients, where would you like our product to change or to improve? And we use that. They've got direct access to our development team. We try to be as agile as possible in that sense, in order to make sure that what we give to our clients is actually what they need and what they want. We use ZOHO knowledge base and on the desk functionality to support our client, or to help our clients support themselves. So yes, you can always phone in or email our support desk to get help, but we've also got this online resource that you can use to educate yourself, which in some senses might be even easier. Then we've also got, because we've got an app with over 1 million end users, over 1 million people that has this app in their hands, it's also an important marketing resource. So we've got the D6 media side of things that we're really promoting to our schools to say, look, if you tell your local community, tell the butcher down the road, they're welcome to come and advertise on your school's app. The school gets a part of that back into their own pockets, so that at the end of the day, the idea is that all our products should pay for themselves with time if used properly. Then We also have our international reseller and partner program that we're focusing on, where we say if you are a company that shares our values and has a vision for the country in which you are functioning, you're welcome to become part of the team to take our products to new markets, um, and to help grow the good word, if I can put it that way. That's it for this
No,
6 months at least.
yeah. No, that's perfect. I think one important thing you mentioned was to stay consistently looking at improving, but also taking what your customers and the people that are actually using your system and constantly looking to improve. I think that's a vitally important thing for any business in this day and age, is to constantly focus on improvements, because that's how you'll stay ahead, stay ahead of the game. Okay, I'm quickly going to check from our production team if there are any questions. I see we don't have any questions so far. So that's pretty much it for today. And I'd like to thank all the viewers for joining us today. And Ryno, thank you so much. It's been very educational and yeah, definitely it's a really important topic now. Education in our country is vitally important. And I think the way we move forward is yeah, of the most utmost importance. And lastly, how can a school get in touch with D6 to explore your technology offerings?
Well, one of two ways. I think the easiest is to go to our website, which is d6.co.za. That's Delta and the number 6. Or you can just send an email to sales@d6.co.za and we'll get back to you. And that pertains to whether you're a school that wants help on managing your school's activities, or whether you're a media agency or the butcher down the road that wants to advertise at his local primary school. It's all the same route. So we look forward
Okay,
to
perfect. Yeah, and I'm sure they can also just jump onto Google and just Google D6 education.
Definitely.
Or D6 technology, and they'll definitely find your website there. Anyway, thank you, Ryno. I really appreciate your time. Thank you to all the viewers. And yes, we will see you all soon at the next ZOHO Live.
Thanks, Andrew. Have a good day.
You too. Cheers.
Bye.